said Cardi and Cardi be brain on offset. You get this motherfucker started. You took your bitch at the party. I took your bitch at the party. Who that be blast, wash it. Who that don't blink in the cut. Who got the bricks in the truck. The diamonds go hit like a bitch on a bitch ass bitch. Bitch, you don't wanna be caught. Man, bottom MJ, moonwalk on a bitch. Moonwalking through your flick. I'm moonwalking in the six. 50 with the kick. Moonbox in this bitch. I'm from the motherfucking Bronx. I keep the pump in the trunk. Bitch, if you bad, then jump. I leave your bitch in the slump.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Now, this is going to be a long, lengthy video, but we're going to get into it, all right? So, as you guys know and heard, Lizzo is being sued by 3 of her former backup dancers, 2 which were fired, and 1 that decided to quit because she didn't agree with what was going on. So, you have Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noelle Rodriguez. Now, Noelle left because she felt threatened, allegedly, and felt that Lizzo was getting hostile with her because she confronted how she handled firing the girls who are Ariana Davis and Crystal Williams. And she said, allegedly, that Lizzo cracked her knuckles at her and etc. So the lawsuit was filed in LA by Superior Court, and it was said that it was done after they did the show for, I forgot the name of the show, you guys, but it was said for her performers and degrading those who had premarital. It was basically a sexual assault. You guys can pause and read. And it's a lot. We're going to get into it, though. But also, who's also the defendant in allegations was linked to the captain, Charlene Quigley. Now, we're going to get into where we remember Charlene Quigley from and where we know her from and who was her former boss. Yes, her former boss. Now, it also says that Quigley discussed the subject in interviews and posted about it on social media. And she also said that no job or no one would stop me from talking about the Lord, okay? We're going to get in how she does a lot about talking about the Lord. Now, I'm going to get into my thoughts after this, but we're going to get into some tea. So before we get into it, I'm going to share a video by Miss Kiki off of TikTok where she does a breakdown of the paperwork of the lawsuit, why the lawsuit was filed, things that was said. We're going to also get into some of the videos of the girls backing up what they said and, you know, showing a little clips of things. We're going to get into Lizzo's response, and then we're going to get into how the girls really feel about Lizzo's response. So like I said, guys, this is a lengthy video. Get your popcorn, get your wine glass, whatever you like to eat for snacks. I know the kids are probably sleeping. It's Saturday night. We're going to get into this, and we're going to get into it right now. So here's the clip from Kiki.
I just read through all 37 pages of the lawsuit against Lizzo, her production company, and the captain of her dance squad. And wow, there is a lot in here. I want to try to just give you the highlights and also not get banned because some of this stuff is pretty wild. There are 9 different complaints in this lawsuit. Some of the complaints are all of the plaintiffs against all of the defendants being Lizzo, her production company, and her dance captain, Charlene Quigley. And some of the complaints are just 1 or 2 of the plaintiffs against maybe 1 or 2 of the defendants. The first complaint is hostile work environment. The second complaint is failure to prevent and or remedy hostile work environment. Third is religious harassment. Fourth is failure to prevent and or remedy religious harassment. Fifth is racial harassment. Sixth is disability discrimination. Seventh is intentional interference with prospective economic. 8 is assault. And 9 is false imprisonment. So 2 of the dancers we met on Lizzo's show, Watch Out for the Big Girls, and the 3rd dancer was hired a little bit later. And we also met the dance captain, Charlene Quigley, who is named as a defendant in this suit. A lot of major claims in this lawsuit center around the dance captain, Charlene Quigley, and it seems, according to this lawsuit, like she was just this uber religious woman, and she was constantly trying to like talk about the Lord and trying to convert people, and people were uncomfortable with it, and she was preaching about how premarital sex was bad. And then when she found out one of the dancers in this lawsuit, Ariana Davis, was a virgin, she became like obsessed with this and would just like bring it up and talk about it all the time, which obviously made her really uncomfortable. But then it's like really strange because then even though she's like uber religious and preaching all these things, she would also like talk about weird sexual things in front of them. And they said that she had this like what was called a party trick where she would use a banana to simulate, you know what I'm saying, with her mouth. And it was like a thing she did. They say in this lawsuit that it didn't stop there with Quigley, and that like in addition to like doing this like faux simulation with the banana, she would talk about how like pleasing yourself, you know, is against her religion. But then she'd be like, but oops, today I had an oopsie, which is just like strange. And they said like that, you know, she would talk about these sort of like sexually explicit comments so much that the entire dance team knew that her fantasy was having, let me see how I can put this, 10 eggplants in her face. They all knew this, apparently. Another of the allegations in this suit is that after performances, Lizzo would invite the dancers out for a night on the town. And then one night in Amsterdam, she had this whole event like in the red light district at this like club where there was like nude cabaret performers. And Ariana Davis says that like, you know, she really didn't want to participate, but like she was being egged on and basically forced to, you know, touch the breast of one of the performer, even though she didn't want to. So what the dancers allege in the suit is that like, even though they didn't want to go to these places and they felt uncomfortable, they felt they had to for job security, because they said it was just sort of this like unspoken, you know, thing that dancers who participated in these extracurriculars got preferential treatment by Lizzo and had more job security. Now, where the racial discrimination comes in, the dancers say that the management team was mostly white people, and that the production team treated the Black members of the dance team differently than other members, and that allegedly they accused the Black members of the dance team of being lazy, unprofessional, and having bad attitudes. So then, according to this lawsuit, they get back from the European part of this tour, and Lizzo is just like unhappy with all the dancers and says like, everyone has to re-audition and your jobs aren't safe. And if I don't like the way you audition, you're going to be fired. And that this audition allegedly turned into this 12-hour day where the dancers just felt like scared to even leave the stage or they were going to get fired. So the one dancer, Davis, said like she, you know, she really had to use the bathroom, but was too scared. So ended up, you know, urinating on herself. So then where the assault and false imprisonment comes in, so two of the dancers, Davis and Williams, were fired, and it was like kind of embarrassing how they did it. They kind of did it publicly. And the other dancer, Rodriguez, like didn't really like how that all went down. So she approached Lizzo and was like, I need to have a talk to you about how you handle the situation. And according to Rodriguez in this complaint, she said that Lizzo got really aggressive, approached her, cracking her knuckles, balling her fists, and exclaiming, "You're lucky, you're so effing lucky." And she says that she believes that Lizzo intended to hit her and would have done so if one of the other dancers hadn't intervened. And then the false imprisonment comes because Davis said that, like, you know, she had been accused of she had recorded a conversation that had happened, but she said that, you know, she has this like anxiety disability where she like can't really process it in the moment. She needs to record things and listen to it later. And the management team and Lizzo were like, you recorded this conversation, got mad. So when they fired her, they like allegedly kept her in this room, like went through her phone until they could like see that she had deleted the file. There's still so much more to unpack with this lawsuit. And now I'm also seeing that other dancers are posting in their stories, sort of corroborating what the dancers in this lawsuit are saying and saying they had similar experiences. So I'm going to keep sharing more. And the captain of the dance squad. There are two overarching themes that carry out throughout this entire complaint. One, the captain of the dance squad, Shirlene Quigley, allegedly was extremely pushy about her religious beliefs to the point that it made the other dancers extremely uncomfortable. And in addition to this pushy religious behavior, because she was their supervisor, there were times that she was allegedly acting very inappropriate and it went unchecked because she was their supervisor. And two, it seems that Lizzo's biggest mistake was blurring that line between, employer, employee, and friends. Some of the allegations in this lawsuit are that Lizzo or associates of Lizzo would invite the dancers to strip clubs, and there would be performers shooting bananas out of their hoo-has, and the dancers would catch them, or they'd be asked to eat a banana out of places on the performers. All behavior that an employer should not be engaging in with their employee. That is reserved for your closest ride or die friends. Also, what's interesting as reading through this lawsuit is, we know Lizzo obviously as a celebrity, an online celebrity, and that's all we know about her. And it's hard to sometimes separate what is the real person versus what is the persona, because we don't know that. So for instance, one of the claims is about assault, and one of the dancers talked about how they confronted Lizzo after they didn't like how one of the other dancers was fired, and allegedly Lizzo got really mad, cracked her knuckles, balled up her fists, and that allegedly, there was going to be an altercation if one of the other dancers hadn't, broken it up. And what the dancer alleges is that as Lizzo was leaving the room, she threw up her middle fingers and yelled, "Bye, bitch." Now, we've all seen the viral videos of, Lizzo doing that. So it's easy for us to believe that could happen. But then it's also would an employer do this to an employee? It just seems so insane. But I think ultimately this is going to come down to just proof of what was reported and what was ignored by management. Another of the allegations made in this suit is that there was, a bus driver, and, one of the dancers brushed past him and he said something like, "Oh, you can back that thing on up close to me." And they allegedly made complaints to the management team about how there was inappropriate behavior, but nothing was done. So if there was people at the top that were getting complaints and nothing was being done, this is where they're going to have real issues. Also, I want to address the fat shaming and body shaming that was being talked about, because obviously that was the most shocking part of the allegations that were coming out. Now, it's not included in the actual lawsuit because fat shaming isn't illegal, so they're not suing for that, but they do talk about it in the lawsuit. So there were no instances of people, calling other people fat or anything like that. That didn't go down. But what happened is one of the dancers said that she had been putting on weight and she noticed it and felt like that management and Lizzo noticed it and that they were inferring that, some of her issues could be related to that weight gain, but they never said it. It was all inferred. And then another allegation is that after one of the other dancers got fired is that Lizzo, said, weight gain could be cause for termination. And the dancer alleges that she looked right at her and felt she was talking specifically about her. And while I've, heard of weight gain being cause for termination, it's usually at a place like Hooters where you have to wear those specific uniforms. So I do think it was surprising, to hear that allegedly weight gain could be cause for termination in this instance. But again, we have to hear the other side of the story. There will be responses to this complaint. And so, maybe we'll see the bigger picture. But overall, it's still just really,
Yes, y'all heard right. There was a lot of things that was said about weight, gain, eating disorder. Yes, there was a lot. There were things about, them being an answer them. And so the girls went ahead and did a video with their lawyer. Now, Ariana Davis and Crystal are the first two that had a sit down. So here's the clip, and then we're going to get into more after this.
Termination is that I had felt for a really long time that they were questioning my abilities due to weight gain. It was never explicitly said, "Hey, you're gaining weight. Your job is in jeopardy." It was never that. It was very nuanced. It was very under the rug. And I think that language was used to keep from being canceled. Previously, she had said, she was worried about me at South by Southwest. And when I was at South by Southwest, that was the first time I had showed up to a Lizzo event or gig, noticeably having gained weight. There was nothing different about me. My performance skills were the same. My demeanor was the same. My energy was the same. The only thing that was different about me was my weight. And in this meeting, she stated as well that, dancers get fired for gaining weight. And then she kind of paused and looked at me and goes into my term to single me out in that moment. But when she looked at me and she said that, I was kind of like, so she's really concerned about my weight. And then, you know, when we had that private meeting, when I was kind of cornered, they kind of wouldn't let me, you know, get away with not telling them something personal. So, and a reason why something was wrong with me. So I ended up telling them that I struggle with, you know, anxiety and depression, and that I'm in recovery from an eating disorder. And as soon as I said eating disorder, they immediately were like, oh, like in their head, it was making sense as to why I was gaining weight, because it had something to do with an eating disorder. I still don't know if she really meant.
All right, so yes. So then there's a filmmaker that actually said that she didn't want to work with Lizzo, and she also came out. She said, I usually don't comment on anything pop culture related, but in 2019, I traveled a bit with Lizzo to be the director of her documentary. I walked away about 2 weeks. I was treated with such disrespect by her. I witnessed how arrogant, self-centered, and unkind she is. I was not protected. It was thrown into an idiot situation with little support. My spirit said to run as fast as you can, and I'm so grateful I trusted my gut. She also said, I felt gaslit and deeply hurt, but I've healed. Reading these reports made me realize how dangerous of a situation it was. This kind of abuse of power happens far too often. Much love and support to the dancers. Now, that's what she said. There's a lot of other dancers allegedly that's going to start coming out about this, is telling their truth. I'm going to say this. I feel like this is when the bullied become a bullier. And I'm going to get into this at the end of the video, why I believe Lizzo has been bullied for so long that she felt like it was okay to bully others. Because when this woman came out, there were people talking about her weight. There are people saying she can't dance and so forth, but we're going to get into that. So now let's get into Miss Shirlene Quigley, okay? Miss Shirlene Quigley looked familiar to everybody, right? She's supposedly the dance captain for Lizzo. And she's the main one that they talk about with the banana situation. But they saying Lizzo is also the one that had a banana situation. I didn't put it here, but I will be, when I continue with it, I will be showing that radio interview as well. But we're going to talk about Miss Shirlene Quigley. So Miss Shirlene Quigley looks so familiar. A lot of people don't know. Miss Shirlene Quigley has been a dancer for a very long time. But guess who she also danced for? Miss Rihanna. She danced for Rihanna back in 2016. I take that back. I believe from 2012 to 2016. We're going to give that much allegedly, but probably could have been earlier than that. Now, Shirlene Quigley was also a dance captain and a dancer for Rihanna, okay, for a little short time. Well, remember when Rihanna went on her tour in 2016? I believe that was the last album we got. Yeah. But anyway, she went on tour. And remember, she posted about saying that her dancer was missing. So Rihanna posted an emotional plea for her backup dancer. If you guys had seen Shirlene Quigley, let her know. So forth and so on, right? Well, came out. Remember, Miss Shirlene Quigley said she needed a break. She had a relationship between her and God. That's why she disappeared, and she had to have a conversation with God, right? Remember that? This is the Shirlene Quigley that is the captain for Lizzo. This is the Shirlene Quigley, okay, that was said to be going for mental health, allegedly had some mental health issues, the way she acted. But here's a clip where Shirlene Quigley had to say about all these allegations, which is pretty interesting.
Buddy, I just want to get on here really quick and say God is so good. God loves you so much. No matter what you're going through, even if you don't love him, he loves you. Glory to God. I just want to remind you that he is love. He is truth. He is the light. He is the first and the last. And all things work together for those that are called according to his purpose. And I just feel so blessed. I feel so thankful. I feel so full of joy. I had such an amazing time on tour with amazing people. And I'm so excited to be home resting with my family and my dog after an amazing experience. And yeah, I just wanted to tell everyone that God loves you and I love you and glory to God. And I hope you're smiling and you feel joy no matter where you're at or what you're going through. Because
yep, that's Charlene Quigley, y'all. That's Rihanna, ex backup dancer who had a whole mental breakdown. This is a Charlene Quigley that says a little oopsie and everything. I believe that, I don't know if Lizzo probably hired her because of her resume. Maybe the team didn't look deep into her situation. I'm not going to say that what she said was wrong. It was absolutely right. But a lot of the dancers were saying that she would push that agenda and then say sexual comments around them, and they felt uncomfortable. Now, I don't know what the whole purpose is for that, but I just hope that she does get the help because she looks like she's on a mental break already. Now, there is a video that is floating around of Ariana Davis, and I don't know if they were saying allegedly Lizzo lawyer put this clip out, but here's the clip. It's very interesting.
Hi, what's up? It's Ariana Davis from season 1 of Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls. I know, you're probably thinking, why is she here? What is she doing auditioning for season 2? The short answer is, I'm a singer. And I just want to share that part of me with y'all. I know, I've been on tour. I've been working with Lizzo for some months, maybe close to a year now. And it's been so amazing and such a beautiful journey. And she's probably going to be like, girl, what are you doing? But anyway, I figured though I might as well shoot my shot. I mean, I don't think she knows that I can sing. And the biggest thing about me is that I always say this, but dance is my first love and music is my passion. And if I was to be chosen for the cast of season 2 of Watch Out for the Big Girls, surprise! Big Girls, I don't know. I just think that it would mean the world to me to share my voice. I think my voice has gone quiet for too long. And I think that I have a story that people need to hear because I think they can relate to it. And I think it can help change lives and, do what Lizzo's doing. I look up to her so much, and I just want to follow in her footsteps and not only be an amazing dancer, but be an amazing singer and storyteller. I love to write music. I love to sing. And I just want to share that with the Queen Lizzo herself. Yeah.
So they're basically saying that she wanted to be Lizzo. It's just messy at this point. Like you guys know, I always say divorces and lawsuits are very, very messy, especially from former employers and employees. These young ladies decide to come and tell their truth, which is about Lizzo and how she acts. Now, with all of this going on, they have done, interviews. They're going out speaking on the situation about how Lizzo really is and how she treated them unfairly. We were hearing things allegedly about the bus driver, things like that, right? So all of this was happening. Everybody wanted to know what Lizzo had to say. She responded. She said, these last few days have been gut-wrenching, difficult, and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness has been questioned. My character has been criticized. Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to be addressed. These sensualized stories are coming from former employees who had already been publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. As an artist, I have always been very passionate about what I do. I take my music and my performance seriously because at the end of the day, I only want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. With passion comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intentions to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they aren't valued as an important part of the team. I am not here to be looked as a victim, but also know that I'm not the villain that people in the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. I'm very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I am not. There is nothing I take more seriously than the respect we deserve as women in the world. I know what it feels like to be body shamed on a daily basis. It would absolutely never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight. I'm hurt, but I will not let the good work I've done in the world be overshadowed by this. I want to thank everyone who has reached out in support to lift me up during this difficult time. All right, y'all. So the girls had got wind of this, and they sat down with ET, right? We're going to get into the clip, of what was said. Here's the clip.
And she writes in part, these sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional.
Me personally, I was never told that I was unprofessional. In fact, I was told the opposite. They would kind of pull me to the side, or if I'm already having a conversation with the tour manager and so on, they would say, actually, Noelle, I just want to let you know you're never a problem. And I'm thinking, so are you alleging that everyone else is super unprofessional, and why? All these black women are unprofessional?
We're constantly being gaslit, and she's constantly deflecting. So it just further, proves our point and solidifies the claims that we're making.
For everyone who's skeptical, just take a moment and put yourself in our shoes. Recognize that when you're in a stressful situation, you don't always know that you're being abused.
Disrespected, and I have never experienced such treatment in the 7 years that I've been doing this. And she then proceeded to prove all of those things right by balling up her fist and saying, you're so effing lucky, basically alluding to hitting me, that she's not going to hit me, as she's inching towards me. And then one of our fellow dance mates and her best friend comes and pulls her back from assaulting me.
Lizzo's persona is one thing, but that after listening to these three brave ladies, that the reality is different.
It's hard to love yourself in a world that doesn't love you back. You know what I mean? And I've been trying to do it so boldly.
Crystal ready for war, baby. It's all about Crystal. They give me that. She's spicy. Listen, this is what I got to say. We gonna be serious, and I want to keep it serious right here because I want to be honest. I feel like Lizzo was true that she does be body shamed. Lizzo also not just be body shamed, she has been for her whole entire career. And this is where the bullied becomes the bullier to me, allegedly, if all the allegations is true. Lizzo has been bullied, and there's pressure that she has to be best because she's a big girl. And we see that. She wasn't the first woman that said it. Remember Monique did her stand-up, and she also basically said that she felt like she made money, as a big girl at the time. She stated that. I feel like she also trying to cover for Charlene Quigley, and I'm going to tell you why. Charlene has a mental issue, allegedly. Okay, we're going to all say allegedly, mental health issues. And if anyone's having mental health issues, please go get you some help and get you some counseling, okay? But back to her. And I feel like Lizzo is giving her a chance, and she got so cool and core with Charlene that she knows some things, allegedly, okay? This is all allegedly, okay? And I feel like she's saving her because she's great as a dance captain. These women, they can't be lying. They cannot be lying. And the only reason why Lizzo feels like that, because, we see Jocelyn Hernandez on the cabaret, and she tells the girls, ain't gonna let none of y'all play me like the other girls. So Lizzo probably say, okay, I'm cool with them, but I'm not gonna let you bully me like everybody else bullied me. And she's been fat shamed for a very long time. I don't know why she feels that way, but I hope Lizzo get her some help, get her some counseling, because we're getting two different people. And after a while, it's going to start to show because of the pressure. The pressure is getting worse. So I really hope that they do settle this. And I'm going to keep y'all updated. It's going to be a lot that come out. It's going to get very, very nasty. You know, they didn't lie about Miss Shirley, honey. She talk about the Lord. She talk about the Lord a lot, I understand. But you can't be doing other things and talk about the Lord. Okay? You can't be sitting here side-eyeing people because they're a virgin. Like, be honest. Y'all know how I do. I'm going to wait till the court hearing and everything comes up. And, you know, they get a court date. And I'm going to see, just like everybody else, and let the judge decide, to be honest.
Repeat itself. Move it along, bring it across.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts if you're a Lizzo fan or not. Tell me if you're on Lizzo's side or you're on the dancers, or you like me, just waiting to see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.